What's up, guys? I'm Alex. This is my beautiful wife, Angie. This is the Free from Fear podcast. We're super excited.
Yeah, episode 1 is finally here. I feel like this is very long overdue. We've talked about it for a long time.
Yeah, we have.
And Alex got the cameras, he's got the setup, so we're here.
Yeah, it's definitely something we wanted to do for a minute, so we are excited. Excuse this mic. It looks really weird right here, but it's gonna have to do.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so I feel like we should probably get into how the podcast came about, or the idea of the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
It definitely was not my idea, I will say. It was Alex's idea.
Yeah, I was just, I don't know, I've been watching a lot of podcasts, and I'm like, it would be fun if we did some podcasts in our studio. So that's what we are doing. I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah. It's going to be like, it's going to be both of us, right? So we both might not be on here at the same time. She might have a guest, I might have a guest, but it's mainly faith, right? That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
Business, leadership, lifestyle. So that's kind of the basis of the podcast.
Yeah, I feel like those things are they're definitely the things that we resonate with more in our lives. We are Christian, so Free from Fear is our clothing brand.
Yeah, it is.
And so that's why it's called the Free from Fear podcast. There's also a lot of meaning behind Free from Fear, so we'll get into that. But faith is number one in our marriage, in our home, in our lives. Business, I will say, Alex is very entrepreneur minded. I am as well, but when it comes to the mind, the brains of it,
the behind the scenes.
Yeah. That's more his vibe. Lifestyle. We love watching I feel like little vlogs, little reels, little clips, or making them ourselves. So talking about that with people, I feel like will be really fun too. But yeah, so that is kind of what Free from Fear is. Yeah. What the podcast is.
Yeah, so we're excited. We're going to try to do, I know I have different co-hosts that are going to be filming with me for the next 3 weeks.
He's booked and busy.
And then, I'm not sure, Angie will...
I have one in mind, but we'll keep that. That'll be a special guest surprise.
Yeah, we're not really sure how often we're going to drop the podcast, because I'm not really sure all that goes into it. Obviously, this is our first one. Yeah, we'll have to see how the editing works. We'll have to see how the whole process of creating the podcast to life works. So we're not sure how often we're going to post, but definitely at least a few times a month. So pretty often.
I feel like we'll be pretty consistent on it. It seems really fun. I love listening to podcasts. And obviously doing one with your literal husband, I feel like will just be so much fun. Yeah. I feel like the guests you have lined up are super interesting, exciting, fun. You have relationships with them. So it's going to be a whole experience, and I'm really excited. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're super excited. Do you want to start off by kind of talking about how we met and obviously we're married?
Of course. This is my favorite story. I have a lot of favorite stories, but...
Go ahead.
Do you want me to do the honors?
Sure, yeah.
I'm a little nervy. Okay. So, I am Angie. Obviously, we're married. Where we met in high school, junior year. So I was born and kind of raised in California, I guess. My parents and I moved to Vegas. This is where we live. In 2014, so I was 14. I moved to Vegas. I didn't know Alex until junior year because we went to different schools. He got transferred over to my school and met me, obviously the love of his life. We met in English class, and from the second he saw me, he knew he was
I was in love.
We were both in separate relationships. We really didn't have any contact until Alex really needed help with his homework.
Help with my homework.
And he messaged me on Twitter, which is so weird because we do not even use Twitter anymore. That's such it was a 2014 thing. And we started texting from there, and then...
Was Twitter around in 2014?
Absolutely. We had Twitter. I think I made my Twitter.
I think it was 2017.
No.
I wasn't on Twitter at 14 years old.
2014? No. 2014 is when I moved to Vegas.
I was
2017.
I was not a 14-year-old on Twitter.
My timeline is off. 2017 is when we had Twitter. You messaged me.
Right.
We texted a little, and then we didn't talk anymore until 2020.
Yeah.
which was right before the whole COVID situation, he messaged me on Snapchat. He was like, hey, yo, let me take you on a date. And I was like, no.
No, this is far after the high school days.
This is 2020.
Oh, okay, yeah,
that's what I said.
Sorry.
Yeah, so he wanted to take me on a date, and I was like, not ready for a relationship or dating or anything like that. And he was very consistent, I will say. And so eventually I was just like, yeah, why not? Like, we can go on a little date. So we went to this sushi place, super fun. And then after we went to Town Square.
She fell in love the first date.
I'm just kidding. I definitely did. I was in denial. For sure. And so, yeah, we went on a date. And then after that, I kid you not, we hung out every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day for like months. I think at the time he worked at Domino's. I'm pretty sure because he would bring me.
Or maybe the car dealership, Jim Marsh.
Yeah, but that was like in the beginning. He would bring me he worked really late shifts at Domino's. And after work, he would come to my house and hang out with my family. And he would bring us our own pizzas. And yeah, that's how he got the in with my family.
I don't know why. We stayed up I was always at her family's house. And we always stayed up till
2 in the morning.
2 in the morning watching random movies.
Yeah, it was such a
I
fun
would be
time.
laying down on the floor, on carpet.
One time actually, I'm going to tell the story. He's had a lot of jobs. He worked at Petco or PetSmart or something.
Yeah.
And he had just started. And he didn't have a car at the time. I think he was literally bicycling to work. And his shift was he had to be there at what time did you have to be there?
I had to be there because I was I was only there for a week and then I quit. I was stalking.
But what time did you have to start your shift?
Probably 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 a.m. And he was at my house 2 a.m. and he was like, I'm going to quit my job. I'm not going in tomorrow. And he literally texted and quit.
Do not do this, guys.
Yeah, that's horrible.
If you have a job,
put in a 2-week notice.
notice.
I never did that. Ever. I've had 14 jobs.
And just had 15 jobs.
I have them listed all on my phone.
List them.
Oh my gosh. I'll list some of them. I can't remember. My first job was Fabulous Freddy's. After that, I also worked at Rapsodelle. I worked at an Indian restaurant. I worked at Cafe Lola. It
was an Indian restaurant, but it was also a Mexican restaurant, a pizza restaurant, a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, and I did all of them.
Mediterranean.
I worked everywhere. I worked at Top Shop. I can go on. And this is all in a 2-year span.
Yeah.
I just could not keep a job. I've never been a 9-to-5 girl. I worked at a tanning salon. Yeah, I worked everywhere. But
you did.
Yeah, so
I did too though.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that just goes to show we're not built for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine if you are, but my brain just can't do the same thing every day. But yeah, we kind of went off track. That's how we met. We hung out every single day. We were I do not recommend this, okay? This is before I fully gave my life to the Lord.
Yeah.
We were in a situationship for a really long time. If you don't know what a situationship is, I'll explain it. I was in denial and he was persistent. And I was like, we're not dating. And everyone who asked, I'd be like, he's just my friend. He takes me out to dinner, comes with me to church.
Nice dinners.
Takes me on
every weekend.
Yeah.
So no, by this time I was working at a Chevy dealership as a service advisor.
That's so bad.
So mind you, I was 19 years old.
No bills.
No, absolute 0 bills. And I was making $8,000 a month.
Yeah.
So for no bills, a kid, we were going on helicopter rides, steakhouses every weekend.
It was crazy. Yeah.
It was crazy.
And
do not recommend that either.
No. Wait, save that for your wife. But yeah, so it was a long year of me just being in denial, him being persistent. Honestly, I think that obviously I liked you so much. I even loved you when we were in that period of time. Mm-hmm. But I feel your persistence really made me fall more in love with you because you were so patient.
Persistence is key.
Yeah, he was so patient. He respected my boundaries. And yeah, so after a year of that, he asked me to be his girlfriend. I said yes. Well, he asked me a couple times. I was saying no. And then,
I asked her the night that I took her on the helicopter ride. I was super nervous to ask her, right? So
you make me feel so bad.
I was trying to ask her the whole night. Well, in my head, I was trying to, but I was so scared. I'm like, should I do it now? And then I would just talk myself out of it. So I take her home, and I'm walking her in, And then I'm like, hold on. I like pulled her in.
No,
I'm like, look,
no.
I started doing this little spiel. Yeah, a little speech. And she was like, sorry, like I can't do this right now. And she walked away from me.
No.
I was like, sorry, the mic is right here.
That is so sad. Whenever I hear that story, I'm so sad. I'm so sorry that I did that to you.
And then she said yes like 3 days later.
I don't know.
On Valentine's Day.
Yeah, he asked me like, I think it was literally a week later, he asked me and I was like, yes. I don't know. I was going through a lot. So yeah, we were dating, and then I think we were dating for like 9 months. And then we got engaged.
We started dating February 14th.
Romantic.
Valentine's
and we got engaged
Day.
October 2nd.
So
however long that is. Hold on.
March, April, May, June, July.
I have to answer
August,
this.
September.
Sorry, it's Onyx. Hello? Hi. Okay, is it okay if we're not there for a little bit? We're on the other side of town. Perfect. Thank you so much. Oh, bye-bye. Okay, sorry. Our dog just got neutered. So any little call I'm getting from the hospital, I am answering the phone.
Yeah, we've had him for like a year. He's a little puppy. Well, he's not a puppy no more because he's like a year. So he's a young dog, but yeah, we're finally getting him neutered.
Yeah.
And yeah,
anyway.
he's a little wild one, so
yeah, for sure.
He needed it.
So we'll go back to.
So you became my girlfriend, and then
we got engaged
6 months later.
Yeah, we got engaged October 2nd, and then I think we were engaged for maybe 7 months or something like that. I don't know the math, but then we got married April 16th. Yeah, and we've been married since. We've been married for a year and a couple months. So marriage is so fun. We got married we were 21. We're 23 now. And I think that, I know that was the best decision that I've made in my life, because our life the Lord has really blessed and favored us. Thank God.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, I just really, everything that we have, everything that has come to be, any successes, we fully just give it to the Lord, because without him, I don't know where I'd probably still have like a regular job. I was a nanny actually before.
Yeah.
And I love kids, but that was very time consuming and kind of crazy for me. So yeah, the Lord really has shifted our lives tremendously in this past year.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I want to talk about like our when we got married a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel up to my knowledge, because this is how I remember it.
Our stories are probably going to be so different.
we were going to plan a wedding for like later on. Like,
oh, yes.
We were looking at like the Caesar's Palace had like a wedding venue. They were like nice wedding venues. We always wanted to have like an intimate 50, 60 person wedding.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were like looking at venues, and then we just decided like, because I remember texting some of my family that's not in state, like we're thinking about like, I don't know, like November or this time, or and then I had to text them like, actually, April.
It's actually in a month.
Be here next month. So we decided like, you know what, we're just gonna get married. I think we got, I don't know if you remember the word we got from Malik Edwards.
Oh, absolutely. So can I go into like our living situation at the time?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was living with my parents in an apartment. I was paying rent. I was on the lease. Alex was living with his mom. He was paying rent. He was on a lease for a house. And in the midst of this, we're like mid-lease, by the way, with our parents. We get this word from Malik Edwards, who I think it was a prophetic conference at our church.
Yeah.
And I have it recorded, but I'll kind of like sum it up. He basically, in this season, we were just kind of set on, sorry, there's like noise. But then I think I talked to Thea Marilee, which is our aunt, Thea Marilee, and she kind of like interpreted it in a way that we would understand. And so we prayed about it, and little after little things just started like making sense. And so we got ourselves into kind of a pickle, but we wouldn't take it back. Looking back now, everything happened the way that it was supposed to.
Yeah.
But in the moment, it was very kind of like stressful. We ended up moving forward with getting our own place, right? So our moving date was April 14th and our wedding date was April 16th.
Yep.
And
So I slept there by myself for 2 nights. So
he stayed there. I stayed at my parents until we were married and we moved in. But so we basically had to come up with wedding money, apartment money.
Moving out. So like moving in, security deposits, all
that kind of stuff.
All new furniture.
Yeah. IKEA is your best friend, I will say. When you're moving out into your first apartment, I think everything in our house was from IKEA.
Everything.
But in that situation, the deal was with our parents, we could move out as long as we still pay the rent
that we were in our
parents' houses. So I think Alex was paying like $1,200. These are very specific numbers. Alex was paying $1,200. I was paying $500. Plus, we would have to pay our new rent.
Yeah, plus our rent was $1,800.
So we were paying like $3,000
for the first 6 months.
First 6 months of our marriage, working regular jobs.
More, like $3,300 or $3,400.
Yeah, I will say that season of our life was very
hectic,
but also like we had to manage our money very well, which I will be honest, we did not.
No, we didn't.
We were very like, not irresponsible, but just like money was falling out of everywhere. And I think we made it harder on ourselves doing that.
For sure.
So for any newlyweds out there, hopefully you're not in the position we were to where we're paying 3 different rents.
Yeah, you don't want to be in that position.
But just steward your money well, I will say, and tithe to the Lord.
Yes.
We'll get there. We'll get to the tithing in a second. Yeah. But that was a pickle we were in. We always we always talk about, well, I feel like we haven't had this conversation in a minute, but while we were kind of going through that season, we were so stressed out, but we still were like, we wouldn't change it for the world because we were experiencing, we didn't want to be married and live separate. Yeah. That was our big thing.
Yeah.
So we were experiencing and learning so many things together, which made the money was just like, it'll be done in 6 months. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, we wouldn't take it back, but that's just our journey. That was just our journey in our first 6 months of our marriage. And it was fun. Like we did so many fun things together. We still do, obviously, but it's very different. So yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely a challenge. But we took that leap of faith. We took that word and we got through it.
Yeah.
So
the Lord knows your journey way before. Because I feel like us looking into our first year of marriage looked completely different to what was actually happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That's crazy.
We got through it. It was good. We're here now. So.
Do you want to kind of go into your testimony?
Yeah, I can go into my testimony. So basically growing up, as like a young child, I never really went to church. My parents never took me to church because they weren't going to church, right? Probably when I became, I don't know the exact age, maybe like 11, 12, 13, 14, somewhere around there. My mom actually got saved and she was very serious about it. She had a very, very close friend that brought her to church, and then she got baptized and had like a big baptized party. Like she was actually very serious, and a big baptism party. Yeah. And she was very serious about it. And then she started taking us to church. As a kid, I wasn't really serious about it, right? I was just going with my mom to church, right? Because I had to. So we would go to church. I'm sure there was like some short periods of time where we went every Sunday, but in my mind, I don't really remember us being there very, very consistently. Fast forward a little bit, my grandma actually died at a very young age, like tragically. So obviously that kind of sent my mom down like a little hole, like a down kind of a spiral. And she like completely lost faith. Like I feel like in those times you need to dig deeper into your faith, right? Not lose it. So she kind of was just obviously really going through it. Maybe blaming herself a little bit, blaming God, blaming everybody, right?
I feel like that kind of plays into like your flesh, your emotions are taking over.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's going to happen to, really anyone.
Yeah.
Unless you
take action,
are really rooted. But
yeah. So yeah, after that, she didn't really go into church. She still hasn't been to church to this day. But yeah, I met Angie. Obviously, we met in high school. I I was always very persistent in like trying to take her out on a date or trying to impress her because I wanted her to be my girlfriend, right? Like I've always liked you.
You've always liked me. Yeah.
And then I know that she went to church every Sunday, and we had already been on a few dates. And again, I want her to be my girlfriend, right? So I was like, I offered to come with you. I was like, okay, I'll start coming to church with you every Sunday.
He pulled the church card, and I did not.
And I was just there. I wasn't paying attention to nothing. I was paying attention. I wasn't like, I was just there for Angie. Like I wasn't there for the right reasons. I just wanted to impress Angie. I wanted her to think I'd be there for her. So I was going to church, like, you know, and then like it just clicked. Like I actually started to understand everything that was happening. I started like learning about the meaning of like worshiping, and then I started worshiping during worship instead of just sitting there in my seat. And then just got plugged in with a bunch of community, right? Obviously
Small
Angie,
groups.
yeah, small groups. And then I decided to get baptized. I mean, ever since then, just trying to dig deeper and deeper into my faith. But Angie was definitely the catalyst of everything, of me even getting back in the church and learning more about, you know, Christ because of Angie. It wasn't on purpose that it happened. I just wanted to impress you. And
the Lord calls all his children back.
Yeah.
To the house of God.
Yeah. And then I got baptized a few years back at ICLV. Yeah, I got my first Bible.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, you want to talk about yours?
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. I didn't grow up in the church either. My parents kind of just go to church Christmas, Easter, and so that's when I would go to the church. And still, until we moved here, I started going to the youth group at my church, which is still our church now. I was 14. I loved going to youth, but I don't think I was really there for the right reasons either. I kind of would just, it was like the cool thing to do, going to youth, hanging out with everybody, hanging out with the cool kids. But I was never really social. And so I think I had to have an encounter. I had an encounter with the Lord, which really convicted me to show up for him and not for the world. And so I think the first time that I really heard and experienced the Holy Spirit was when one of my former youth pastors, Christine, I love you, Christine, Anna. She, in that season of my life, I was just I wasn't rebellious. I was never a rebellious kid, but I was just not really living for the Lord in my life. And it was very evident. And so Christine prayed over me during a worship service. And she basically said, the Lord does not condemn you for the things that you do. He just calls you back. He loves you and he's always going to forgive you, and you don't have to feel ashamed for the things that you're doing, because the things that I was doing, walking into church, I felt so much shame and so much guilt. And so she just kind of helped me break those chains off. And I really felt like the Lord is with me, and I don't have to, seek validation from people in the world. And so that was kind of my first encounter. And since then, I think I was 16, I got baptized. Unfortunately, I went back to the things of the world, and it took me a couple more years to really dedicate my life to the Lord and really fully submit and give all of my problems, all of my blessings, all of my grief and my traumas to the Lord, and just fully submit. And since I would say really, really is when I fully turned my life around, was maybe a year and a half ago. And it's a decision you make every single day, to be and to live like the Lord, and be a good friend, and be a good wife, biblically. And so, yeah, that's kind of short and sweet. There's obviously details and other pathways I could get into, but we would literally be here forever. So I'm not gonna get into that, but yeah, that's kind of my testimony.
If you guys want to see that video,
we can definitely do that. But yeah, that's my testimony. And everybody has one, and they all slay.
That's awesome. I know we had posted something on a Free From Fear that we were going to do the podcast, and we asked people to basically send us some questions that they want answered. One of the ones is like, how did Free From Fear come about? And obviously I'm going to have you answer that.
Juicy questions. Okay. I actually didn't think I'd be talking so much.
No, it's good.
But slay.
How did Free From Fear come about, and what's the reason behind the movement?
Oh, wow. Okay, so saying all this stuff, a lot of things happened in my teenage years. Like 14 to like 17. Wow, crazy. So yes, Free From Fear was created when I was 16 years old. This was kind of like the whole season when I was going to youth and I was kind of just like not really going for the right reasons. I was very fearful. I endured a lot of traumas when I was little that I didn't really realize until I was like kind of growing up. And I think, I was just really fearful. I was scared of making friends. I was scared of saying my opinions about how I felt. I was scared of setting boundaries. I had anxiety. I was never depressed, but I was kind of like sad a lot and I didn't know why. I just didn't feel good enough. Like there was just a lot of things that I feel like in your teenage years where these things come out. And sadly, a lot of times like teenagers feed into those things and it kind of just becomes who they are and they identify as like a depressed person who is dealing with all of these like things. But I feel like in that time, because I was in youth, I thought a little bit differently. I feel like being in youth kind of makes you steer another direction, at least for me. I didn't want to identify as like a depressed, teenager. And so I kind of like leaned into the Lord as much as I knew how, because I was very, very new to the church. And I just felt the Lord speak over me, free from fear. Like literally I think that's the first time I ever heard his voice, like free from fear, like free yourself from all the things that you're trying to identify with, because that is not of me. And when I wrote that out, I have my notebook, so I should have brought it. I could have read it. But I wrote down what the Lord was saying. And I was a teenager, so I felt like at that time, Free From Fear was for the youth. Like Free From Fear was a movement that we spoke over our generation. And I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know that it was going to be closed right away. I just knew that it had to be something. Like the Lord is giving me this, not so that I can leave it in my notebook. And so, I drew out a whole bunch of designs about what I felt like Free From Fear meant. And that's kind of what it was. I really was afraid for a long time, which is really ironic. But I think that it all happened the way it was supposed to, because later down the line, I got married to Alex. And actually, before we got married, I had showed you Free From Fear. So I guess you could kind of talk about the first time you saw anything in the notebooks or anything in... What happened, Ma? Mother? She gone? Oh, no. Yeah, you can come. What happened?
Just a question. The fulfilled ones are already done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. There's waffles.
No,
or you can go get food, or you can Postmates or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Wait, you already did all the labels?
No. She's just hungry.
Oh yeah, whatever.
There's In-N-Out. Look on your maps. I don't know. We usually just leave, but there's places around here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can talk about it. Do you want to or no?
Yeah, you can just like kind of repeat what you just said very lastly, and then. So basically, so I feel like everything happened the way it was supposed to, because I did nothing. I did nothing with Free From Fear when I first designed it, when it first came to be. It actually sat in my notes until we got married. And we can go into that in a second, but I did show Alex my like sketches and everything that I had down, because I feel like in that year of our situationship, we really became best friends. Like
as much as we were going on
Yeah.
dates and all that stuff, like we really created a trusting, loving relationship. And so I shared it with you. So I guess you could kind of, if you have any thoughts about what it was before it was anything.
Yeah, I mean, I've always tried to I feel like I empower you and
Encourage.
encourage you.
He is an encourager.
So when I saw it, I thought it was amazing. I wanted it to come to life.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to rush you, right? It's not something that
for sure.
I didn't have any authority over. So it was just, I wanted it to be on your time.
Yeah.
And I just wanted you to create it because I knew it was amazing. Our God-centered collection actually was one of the ones in the notebook.
One of the ones in the
notebook from 2016. That was our first
crazy.
collection ever.
So we got married. And I was a nanny and Alex was working at a mechanic shop as a service advisor. And he brought it up all the time. He was like, what about if we do Free from Fear? Like, what about if we do something with it? And I was like, no, I don't want to. I won't go into it too much, but there was something that really set me back. Something happened. And it really just even made me more fearful. I feel like it was kind of taken away from me. And he respected that. He didn't push anything, but he was always kind of bringing it up as do you want to? Do you want to bring it back? Just take it back, take your authority back, take the power back. And I was just really scared. I feel like I felt like it wouldn't really be anything. I don't know. I was just really fearful.
Yeah.
And I think we got to a point where the Lord put it on both of our hearts at the exact same time that this is what he's called us to do. This, it wasn't even a matter of, do you want to do it? It's the Lord has the authority in our hearts, and because we've given him that authority, and this is what he's called us to do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it felt like. I didn't even feel like, no, I don't want to. Yes, I want to. It wasn't about us. And so we started Free from Fear.
Yeah.
I think our origin story of how it started is so fun and cute, and I love it so much. So we live in a 1-bedroom apartment. Let's preface that. We live in a 1-bedroom apartment with a not really big, a good sized laundry room. Okay.
It's pretty big.
It's a pretty big laundry room, I will say. It's popping noises coming from the ceiling. So one day we went to, I think, Office Depot. We got what is that machine? A Cricut, right?
Yeah, not from Office Depot, but yeah, we got
or Staples or something.
Michael's or something.
Michael's, maybe. I think it was Michael's. We did a 20-minute research. We went to get a Cricut. We got some vinyl. We got a press off of OfferUp.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing.
No, it was literally
we had not come out with anything yet. We were just
random stuff.
Let's just create some mock-ups and just see if we can at least create a shirt.
Yeah, we should bring him in for a podcast one time. We have the mock-ups. They're crazy.
We tried pop
crazy, not
print.
good.
Yeah, not good. I mean, Emily has one of them.
Yeah, she does. It's like a one of one. I let her have it. It's so cute. So we started I have all the videos. It's so cute. In our kitchen, before we made anything of the laundry room, I remember the first day we did it, we were there for hours because we didn't know what side the vinyl went. It was upside down, or we were pressing it too hot. It was just really a memory to be made, for sure.
Sometimes it was bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I was getting so frustrated.
Sometimes we didn't flip it on the Cricut app, so when it cut, it would be reversed.
It was crazy. It was really fun. It was a fun experience. Now looking back, I was getting frustrated in the beginning. I'm I don't even want to do it anymore. It's just so bad. It's coming out so bad. And so eventually we perfected the design that we wanted. Then it came to buying blanks and seeing where we wanted to get our stuff from. And so it was a huge learning curve. And then it was kind of okay, we have too much stuff. I don't want stuff laying around. Let's make the laundry room our office. We decked that thing out.
It was a decent sized laundry room.
We had a rack with our inventory. We had a foldable table. It was so hot in there. We got LED lights and all that kind of stuff.
This is for our God-centered collection.
Yeah, this is so for
So we had 2 different shirts. We had the black shirt, and then we had the smoke gray shirt.
Yeah.
And then we had the 2 totes.
Yes. Oh, those
with
totes.
the big Free from Fear in the back. in your handwriting.
Yeah, I will say our quality has been extremely improved since those days.
Yeah.
We were on a budget and we were trying our best.
Yeah,
if you supported, we appreciate you.
If you got one of those shirts and the Free from Fear peeled in the back,
we're so sorry.
Hit us up. We'll get you a new one.
A free new design tee.
Yeah.
Yeah, humbling times for sure.
Humbling times.
Yeah, so that's kind of the situation with our first collection. We came out with our second collection. Mm-hmm. That was our flop era. But we persevered.
Yeah, it was bad. Very bad. Yeah. Chosen Generation.
We won't even talk about her.
The idea is amazing, and it still is amazing.
The execution.
And it's still something that we might implement.
Yeah.
The execution, the design of the shirts. Yeah.
Interesante.
I do want to say thank you to all of our friends who've always supported us and have always been down to do photo shoots.
Absolutely.
Emily, Trevor.
Let's name call.
Noah.
Josh, Noah, Erica, Ariana, Nick.
Emily, Trevor.
Zyra. Jesse, we love you. Are we missing anyone? I'm going to cry if we miss.
No, we are. Caleb.
We love you, Caleb. I don't know.
All the youth kids,
Genesis,
not
Mia.
even the kids, they're grown. Everyone from the youth.
You guys are just team players and we love you.
Everyone. Serena,
yeah, literally.
Ari, Nick.
I already said that.
Who else are we missing? Nikki, Erica.
I said Erica. We just love our friends and they're prime examples. I said Josh. They're prime examples of
Noah.
I said Noah. We've named everyone. They're prime examples of supporting your friends, literally through everything. Because did we have the best products? No.
Yeah.
Was our setup the greatest? No. Yeah, so.
Shout out to Noah, though, honestly. Noah used to be at our office with us till 3 o'clock in the morning for hours. Orders. And this dude used to ship out bro, he used to package by himself 200 orders. Yeah. Quick.
We put a 5-minute timer and we'd be see how many we can package in 5 minutes. He slayed. He was our videographer, our photographer, our editor. We appreciate and love him so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. So after Chosen Generation, I think we can get into I guess it's not our newest because we have newer ones, but our This World is Temporary, Drop Shoulder, Free from Fear tees that we dropped in February.
We dropped on February 1st.
And this collection is really the one that did it for Free from Fear. Kind of got our name on the roster, I guess. I can't think of another word. For lack of a better term, the roster.
Yeah, it really, everything. For the first 2 weeks, it went good. Our normal, I don't know how many followers we had when we first did the
I have the
first
screenshots
collection.
of every 1,000 followers that we
probably had 1,000 followers.
No, it was 1,200. It was 1,200 followers.
So we had 1,200 followers when we first dropped the collection. So we did have some customers and a lot of them bought. A lot of our family bought. Thea Marilee has been she's been our best customer since
Margie. Yeah.
There's a few actual customers that are not our family that are great supporters.
Yeah, our first couple collections, it was just our family, really.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's how it is, though. Friends and family. Mm-hmm. But yeah, anyway, we had those customers that we didn't know, and then we had family, and then around February 15th, about 2 weeks after, the ads started doing very, very well.
Yeah.
And then we've just been growing since February, and then now we have almost 50,000 followers.
Yeah, I think we're at 48K or something, which is insanity.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people always ask, the ads got me, wow, the ads do so good. Buzz Marketing.
Yeah.
US.
Shameless plug, really. Buzz Marketing US.
At first, I didn't want to say, but.
Bye. It's really.
You got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, Buzz Marketing is Alex and Trevor. So we'll give a little family breakdown. Emily, my bestie, is also my cousin. She's married to Trevor. And so Alex and Trevor have a business called Buzz Marketing US. They slay every ad that you've ever seen of Diamond Superior, Free from Fear.
We're not going to talk about the
not
other
gonna talk about that
companies
one,
that we have, but
Buzz Marketing has fully done everything for our ads. And they obviously work really well. So
obviously, if you guys need help, hit us up.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a quick plug.
Yeah, for sure. But
it's just been going well since then.
Since then, we've had 2 offices. We're in our second one. We love it here so much.
Yeah.
We'll probably be here for a while too. So
yeah, we will. There's obviously been a lot of challenges throughout the way.
So many.
And still is so many challenges that we face, like on a daily basis.
There's so many things we're still learning too. We've only been in business for how long?
Like, not even altogether a year and a half, but we've only been getting a lot of orders since February.
Since February, yeah. It hasn't even been a year.
So, yeah, thank you so much for everyone's patience.
Yeah.
We're still trying to perfect everything between our shipping times, our production process. There's also been a lot of like supply and demand issues with our manufacturers. So sometimes that can delay stuff as well.
We just have to be on the fly with things like those things we can't control. So we kind of like,
We're doing our absolute best though.
For every business, I feel like it's like that, but.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone.
Yeah,
we think hopefully within the next few months, our goal is to get like our shipping times down to 3 to 5 business days. Like, just get everything shipped out very, very quickly. Because our products are great. Like, everyone loves our products. We just want to get that down. But I mean,
we're just a small business.
Yeah, we're a small business transitioning into a big business. So big business. A big figness.
Figness is crazy.
Big business.
Yeah. So.
You want to go into the next question?
Yeah, that was actually really long.
Yeah, that was a good question though.
Yeah.
And then we kind of told the story about Free from Fear too, so that's good.
Thank you for giving us questions.
Yeah.
Love you.
So this is kind of on the same, we don't have to answer this because this is kind of, what is the meaning behind the brand? We already talked about it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The meaning behind the brand is to give glory to the Lord and, I guess I didn't say that. Give glory to the Lord, to his kingdom.
Yep.
And a big one for me when I created and figured out that Free from Fear was going to be clothing was I wanted to give the youth an opportunity to wear cool street style clothing that doesn't have like crazy things plastered on it, cuss words, bad representation,
skulls, flames,
just
like
demonic,
just crazy stuff,
demonic things that honestly a lot of people are not even aware of. If you don't, if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you're just oblivious and you're wearing things. The things that you wear, the things that you say, the things that you read, the things that you watch are very powerful and can manifest in your life. So you want to be very careful with those kind of things. And I think that, I know that for like Free from Fear, what we wanted is a message that brings glory to the kingdom. And honestly, I think it's really cool. A lot of people say when they wear Free from Fear, like it's such a conversation starter.
I know even for myself. Like,
we were at Disneyland and this guy, Alex, was wearing his Free from Fear. That's like his uniform.
I wear Free from Fear every day of my life.
He has like a rotation.
And she makes fun of me. It's cool though.
It's just, he has a uniform, I will say. But you look cute.
Hey, I support the business that supports me.
This older man came up to us. He was wearing the "This World is Temporary" tee, and it said "Free from Fear" at the bottom. And he was like, "Hey man, I just want to come up. Like, is this like faith based? Are you Christian? Like, is this about the Lord?" We were like, "Yeah, absolutely. Like, Jesus is coming back, eternal life in heaven.
He sure is.
This world is quite literally temporary for us.
Yeah,
we will not be here forever.
Yeah,
we are not temporary residents of the world. So
yeah, some people comment on our stuff like."
We'll not even go into that.
Yeah.
We'll not even go into that.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's, I guess, kind of like a more in-depth meaning of Free from Fear.
So this is a very good question, and I'm glad we get to touch on this.
I'm scared.
What is it like to start a faith-based brand in a non-faith-based like industry? Like streetwear is not faith-based; it's streetwear. Yeah.
You can start. You can start that one.
I mean, I think it's awesome. I think it's cool that we're able to like the brand is about the kingdom, right? To glorify the kingdom of God, to be an outlet for youth to be able to wear cool stuff that doesn't have profanity on it.
That's what I was looking for, profanity.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Like, there's obviously, I've seen it, there's more and more faith-based clothing brands that are coming out. There was plenty before us. There's going to be plenty after us. I think it's awesome because we all have the same end goal. Like we all want to bring, you know, glory to the kingdom. I mean, I think it's been great. There's a lot of people that support us from all around the world. Like sometimes we get orders from like Sweden and Germany and Brazil, so cool. And like it's awesome that we're able to reach this many people. Like I think it's great.
I think that well, what would I say? I think it's obviously so much fun. There's so much to learn about that kind of stuff because obviously we're not the first Christian clothing brand.
Never, no,
so we get to like pull inspo from other things, which I feel like everybody does. And it's cool when people pull inspo from us, which we've seen.
We've definitely seen it.
And yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot we have learned. And I think it's fun. Like, I love the idea of streetwear. I change my style every single day. Like sometimes I'm a girly pop. Some other times I dress like a little boy and I'm in my Free From Fear. So I think it's fun. I think that the youth really love it. I will specifically speak for our youth group at our church. We're youth leaders at our church. And I think it's so funny when like 6 people, because they all, not all of them, but like most of them have Free From Fear. They love Free From Fear. So they'll come in and they're all wearing the exact same shirt.
Like last night at youth.
Yeah, it was so cute.
We're youth leaders too at our church.
Oh, I just said them.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, I was on my phone for a second. But yeah.
Yeah, they match and it's so funny and it's so cute. Even like the youth pastor, I just love it so much.
The actual worship team.
Yeah, we love, our first pop-up was at our church. Yep. That's how we wanted it to be because that's where I've been going since I was 14. I was in that church when I created the brand. It was just, it's our home.
Right.
And so we walk into like Sunday services, youth, and
we see it everywhere.
At least, every time there's at least one person. And it just warms my heart because this is like our sanctuary, our home, the Lord's house that we like grew our faith in. And to see like our friends and our family wearing Free From Fear is just like the best thing ever, the best feeling.
And the thing is too, is like, obviously we made it tailored to like young adults, the youth, right? Streetwear.
Yeah.
When we did our last pop-up just most recently, like at our church, we didn't announce it anywhere. It was just at our church. There was so many like adults that bought it for themselves as well. Like
so
of all ages, older people, middle-aged people, like there was so many people wearing it for the conference. And yeah, I thought it was awesome.
Pastor Tina slayed. She slayed in her Free From Fear. I love you, Tina. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun, I will say. I think it's crazy that this is our job. And I think it's the best that we're able to do together. This is why I'm saying it happened perfectly, because if I would have if I would have executed Free From Fear the way that I thought it should be executed when I created it, my life would have been so differently. My life would have been so different. Yes, that's what I meant to say. Differently doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Blooper.
And Alex was like, is the perfect husband for me, the perfect partner for me, my best friend, my encourager. He's so persistent. I love you. So like active and I'm forgetting the word, but like just so active and blank in our marriage. What is the word I'm looking for? What's a synonym for active?
Persistent? Nah. Active? I don't know.
But he's just there. Like he's always encouraging and everything just would have been so different.
You too.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
So yeah, everything happened in the Lord's will. And yeah. Should we go into like the little tithe situation?
We can if you want. Right now.
We can cut it out if you don't want to. If it doesn't resonate the way it's supposed to.
I'm not cutting nothing out.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
This is an organic podcast.
Yeah. I just feel like, I'll just say it. It's on my heart. So I'll just say it. So I think that a lot of times if you're new to the church or you're not new to the church, but you never really like understood this aspect. I wish I had my Bible. It's over there. when you go to church, a lot of people say that churches just ask you for money. They just want your money.
They're always passing around the bucket.
Yeah. We think it's like kind of funny because like that's not what it is.
Living
really. Good. Yeah. There's just, if you have social media, you see it like this, the kind of like bad interpretation of like what the church is. And I never agreed with that. I never agreed like they're just trying to take money. I just didn't think it was very important to tithe. I don't think I was ever really explained the importance of what it was until my aunt and uncle, my tia and my tío. We've talked about her a couple times. Tia Merly, we love you. Tío, Jay, Linda, we love you so much. We went out to dinner with them. We went to sushi. I feel like they are very influential people in our lives.
Absolutely, yeah.
They are just such a good example of what entrepreneurs, honorable, a married couple should be. And I look up to them a lot. I think I could speak for you as
absolutely,
well.
for sure. I worked with Jay. And,
yeah, we love them so much.
Worked for Jay.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we went to sushi with them one night and we were talking and I forgot what the topic of conversation was, but he told us that the most important thing to do is to tithe. Like for your heart, even like for your business, like the Lord is so happy to see that you're like doing that for his kingdom. Cause it's not like, yes, sometimes it pays the pastor or it pays the pastors. It pays like the church's like things so that, things can keep running and so that they are able to hold that many people and so that we can continue to serve his kingdom. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Money is a very important aspect of making things go round. There is a difference between, you know, keeping the lights on and for the church and, you know, paying people so that they have jobs, so that things run in the church and so that they can host conferences and all that kind of stuff is very important. But there's a difference between that and like idolizing money that I think people outside of the church don't understand that kind of aspect, which we can't really expect them to if they are not in the church. Like it's, I didn't understand it for a long time either.
Neither did I.
And so, when we started giving our first fruits, it was really just on our heart. Like, this is not our money. This is the Lord's money.
Yeah, all of it is his money.
Yeah. And so we're just like, it's basically just sitting with us. We're stewarding it the way that the Lord has intended. And whether we have money for anything else, tithe is number one priority. And we've discussed that. There was a lot of times in the beginning before we really understood the importance of tithing that it was when we had our 3 rents. Tithing was like not even on the books. Like we're like, we need groceries and we need gas money and we need this and Onyx needs food and all this kind of stuff before tithing was even an option. And so once our mindsets flipped is when we were writing like our cash envelopes. Okay, tithe, this is what it is. And whether we were tight or not, that's what we were giving. And sometimes the Lord even led us to give more, and we did. And I feel like you are just like very generous with that kind of stuff. Like you're just like, you'll give me the look and be like, we're giving more. And I'm like, okay, like that's just what it is.
I love being generous like all the time. Like
the other
it's
day,
like paying for people's dinner, buying everyone Starbucks. Like I don't know. I like doing that stuff a lot.
I love that about you. So once, and we'll get into like, so we started tithing, giving our first fruits. And then I will say, let me preface, you should not be giving in like, I'm giving because I'm going to get this back. The Lord is going to bless you.
You have to give blindly.
But give something. Of course, you can ask the Lord and pray for certain things, but I just feel like giving with the expectation of something back is not like the right heart. But when we did start giving is when our business grew the most in every aspect. Like content was great, sales were great, our marriage was great.
Every aspect. I think our business started growing, our personal mindset started growing, our relationship with the Lord started growing.
It's just there's a lot more importance to it than you would think.
Yeah.
And so I would just encourage, I think it talks about, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting what book, but I don't remember, but it's biblical. I don't want to misquote, like tithing.
Malachi.
Malachi.
Have to do with free from fear. As a Christian, is it a bad idea to have non-believer friends?
Ooh, that's a good
question.
Do you want me to answer?
Sure, we can.
Yeah, I guess we can speak on our experiences. Personally, for me, I'm trying to think. I do have non-believer friends, I will say. But I don't really surround myself with them as much. And I'm very careful with the things that, I'm trying to word this like so that it makes sense. I don't surround myself with them that much or as much. I make sure that the people that I do surround myself with are people that know the word, who can bring scripture when I'm like kind of like going through something. And I think that's important because when you are going through like hard times or like there's a certain season in your life where you're really struggling, going to people who don't know the word are going to give you advice of things from the world. And that's not what you want. I think it's really easy to think about like me, my emotions, like you want validation. But I feel like people who have the fear of the Lord and know the Lord and know the word can bring and won't validate your feelings just because they want to be like a yes man. They will bring scripture. Yeah. And I think that's valuable, at least to me, because I don't want to like fall back on the things of the world and be comfy and, you know, cozied up around a yes man friend. I want like spiritual mothers, spiritual sisters, spiritual brothers to be able to surround me with scripture. Yeah. Because that's where I want to learn. That's where I want to grow. And yeah, so I don't think it's bad to have friends that are not Christian. I think it's actually, we were praying about this Wednesday at youth, that I want to be a vessel in friendships that are not,
I was gonna say that,
surrounded by the Lord or on their part, so that I can bring, you know, scripture and that kind of stuff when they need it, or when they don't know that they need it. But then when they ask for advice, that's where I'm going to pull my advice from. I'm not going to pull it from what they want to hear, because if they're asking me, it's going to be biblical.
Yeah. I think too, like your job as a Christian is to also bring people to the Lord and bring people to the kingdom.
Yeah, evangelist for sure.
So if you don't have any friends that are non-Christians, you won't really be able to bring your friends to the kingdom because they're already saved, right? So I don't think it's bad that you have non-believer friends that are Christians.
For sure.
If they're causing you to live a life of sin,
that's where the problem comes.
And to do bad things, smoke weed, do this, do that, girls, boys, you know, alcohol, then obviously it's not a good friendship to have. And that's something, boundaries, and you should try to push that friendship away.
I think boundaries are really important in a Christian friendship, and more importantly not, because I feel like there are a lot of like habits. If you're hanging out with these people all the time, there are a lot of habits that are not of the Lord that you can unintentionally pick up. Things that they say, the way they act, heart posture, activities that you do. I think it's based on like your own convictions. They're all different. But I think for me, it's like the way that I speak. I don't curse. I don't know. I think boundaries are important. I think you having your boundaries and them, respecting your boundaries is important. I think another thing for me that's important is when I do not like stand for like, if I'm friends with someone and they don't believe in Jesus, don't mock my like faith. Yeah, like I'm not going to push my faith on you, but also don't push the things of the world on me. Because we still love. If you're not Christian, that does not stop me from loving you.
No, absolutely not.
But I will keep you at an arm's length if we're not pouring into each other the way that a Christian friendship you know, pour into each other.
For sure.
So I think that's important. I think those are my thoughts.
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
awesome. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about or ask a question about us. In your opinion, how does our roles complement each other running the business?
I actually feel like our dynamic
I think it's great.
Pretty good. I think we, in the beginning, we kind of bumped heads a little bit. I think I just had a very protective nature over Free From Fear because of previous things. Like, I'm not going to go into that, but previous things have happened to where I feel like it was taken away from me. And so when we got married, Alex is very like he's a go-getter. Like he's going to like, I can't find the right words I'm looking for, but he is going to like be proactive. That's what I was looking for. He's gonna be proactive and like, okay, let's do this. I have this idea. What do you think? Like all this stuff. And I feel like I took that as like, why are you trying to be in control of everything? But that was also like something I had to work on in our marriage because I was just very like in control because I was just a single girl at first. And so having a man come into your life as your husband, he is the head of the household. And it took me like kind of a while to want him to be the head of the household. And so him making decisions, it was like, you don't have the last say on that. Like, that's not going to work for me. And I'm not okay with that. I didn't want him to be like the dominant man that he is. And eventually I got over that. And it took a lot of prayer for sure, because I was like, no, like, why do you get to decide these things? But eventually I got over that, but also he kind of worked with what I was feeling, and he'd be like, what do you think about this? Like, how do you feel? Oh, the sun's coming.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this idea? This is your realm of like what you like to do. What do you think? And I think growing through that, I feel like you really mastered like the ads and like the numbers. Like, I've never been a numbers girl. All the numbers, all of the orders.
I'm like a behind the scenes type of guy.
All the orders that have to be made, the ads,
doing all of our manufacturing stuff, doing all of our marketing, doing all of our everything behind the scenes, and just like the creative. Yes. She designs everything. She
picks the garments.
Yeah, she figures out how the social media is going to look. She wants everything to look a certain way. We both like do social media stuff when it comes to like posting and stuff. She makes reels, I make reels. But as far as like how it's going to look, the vibe.
Yeah, so we figured that out a little down the line. And I feel like we work pretty well together. Yeah. Sometimes we'll disagree on something, but then we'll just, like, if one of us cares more than the other, it'd be like, you can just, it's fine. Like, yeah. But that's very far and few. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like we slay together. We're a slay team. Yeah.
Probably wrapping up. Do you want to, so we made an Instagram poll the other day, and we asked people where we should do a Free From Fear pop-up. The 4 main places were LA, New York, Phoenix, and Tennessee whiskey.
No.
Nashville.
Nashville. Oh,
Nashville, Tennessee, baby.
I want to go to Nashville so bad. That would be so cool.
Yeah, so we definitely want to, if you're in any of those cities and you're watching this,
comment.
And you know maybe some great places as to where we can hold a pop-up in your city, definitely DM us, let us know, because we would love to. Another thing too is, let's talk about briefly like what's next for Free From Fear. What our vision is for the end of this year and the beginning of next year. We're going to come out with a new collection soon.
Yes.
For winter.
New items, new designs.
By that time, our goal is to be completely caught up on orders. That way our shipping time is completely dropped. Yeah. So what we're going to do, new hoodies. We actually have totes coming.
They're here. We just need to design them.
They are here. We have to just.
We're thinking embroidery.
We'll see. They're big totes though.
Yeah, they're big. I think one of our like more current, like attainable goals that we kind of decided on is we're upgrading our office. We're not showing, obviously you don't know what our office looks like in this video, but We'll probably make like a reel or something. We have a good size office, but it's not enough, which that's a good problem to have, I feel like.
Yeah, it is.
So we're upgrading our office. We're still going to be in the same space, just bigger. So that'll be good. I feel like we're going to like finalize our team as for packaging and
yeah, we already have, you know, a few team members already that work full time to help us out.
Yeah, we do still package orders ourselves sometimes.
We do, yeah.
Well, kind of most of the time, because we do not mind coming in and getting packages out.
No, not most of the time.
Yeah. Well, I feel like recently, a couple of days out of the week.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. We've been putting in the work.
Yeah.
Right now, we're transitioning to one employee from another.
So we're training.
So we've been like training. So we've actually been like doing most of the work so we can help train.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we definitely have big goals for Free From Fear.
Mm-hmm.
We want to keep pushing out great clothes. We want to get it to you quick. And we just want to continue building the kingdom of God.
Yeah, seriously.
Is there anything you want to say to end the podcast?
Shameless plug to Sew the Label.
Oh, how could I forget? So talk about that.
Yeah. This is going to be another spiel.
No, go ahead.
Spiel's not
Angie's starting her own clothing brand.
Not my own. Emily
She's
and I.
Partnering.
Yeah. Emily and I have created the ultimate cute girl clothing brand. So if you know Free From Fear, we are a unisex Christian clothing brand, streetwear. So the shirt Alex is wearing is one of our designs. The design is on the back. And it's unisex, so girls and guys can wear them. And I think
you always wear them, but it's a little cold in here.
Yeah, I'm a little bit chilly. And my hoodie was dirty. Yes, so yeah, I obviously love Free From Fear, literally created the brand, but sometimes I want to be a cute girl. Sometimes I'm just a girl. I want to be a cute little girl with my little iced drink, walking around the mall or something. And that is what Sew the Label is. I won't talk about it too much because Emily's not here, but Emily and I already said, our cousins, we're besties. Our brain is the same. And yeah, so we've created a cute girl aesthetic. I don't know.
What's your Instagram so everyone can follow all the other girls?
It's at Sew the Label, SOW the Label. We haven't posted yet. We're finalizing some things, getting our designs down, but it's coming very, very soon. So I would follow us there. I guess we can just plug our IGs. Our
personals?
Yeah, I guess. And maybe not. I don't care. Follow Free From Fear.
Everyone's always asking us, who owns Free From Fear?
Oh my gosh, we should talk about that really fast.
But Free From Fear follows 2 people.
Awesome. No, listen. I think it's so funny when we're at church. I do not care at all, by the way. When we're at church, so all of our friends are always wearing Free From Fear. Trevor especially. Nick wears Free From Fear. Emily wears Free From Fear. Noah.
Everyone. All of our friends love wearing Free From Fear. Yeah. Alan always wearing them. The youth kid, the youth,
Marilee. Right? We love them all.
Peyton.
Yeah, but there's a couple people that always come up to like Trevor and Emily, and they're like, wow, like I love your clothing brand. It's amazing. It's so cool. Like, where can I get this stuff? And they're like, it's just so funny that everybody thinks they own it. And we never say anything. Like, we've never walked up and be like, we own Free From Fear. Like, no, it's okay. But Trevor's always coming up to us, telling us that he showed like 6 people our Free From Fear's Instagram. He's a plug. He be plugging.
He's the marketer.
He's like a walking advertisement.
Yeah, literally. That's how I try to be.
And so.
'Cause I'm so big.